I was like, what, Mike? Dusty Rhodes? No, Mike, I got nothing prepared. He goes, listen, I just want you to blow him away like he's the biggest mark on the planet. I go, Mike, not Dusty Rhodes. Don't do that. Hello? Good God! Dusty Rhodes, the Tower of Power, the man of the hour, too sweet to miss out, getting funky like a monkey. I mean, I speed rap shit from him, Albano, myself. I went all the way through the thing, and I had strep throat at the time. And I got to the end, and I go, I dreamed, that's all I got. I got strep throat. Hello? And all of a sudden, it felt like it was 5 minutes. It was probably 30 seconds. He goes, was that a recording, kid?
You got the Dusty Rhodes down.
He's my man, dude.
It's American Dream right there.
You know, I read his book.
On.
He came out with a book a few years ago and praises you up and down throughout the book. Phenomenal. But so you went from the Gagnes, legends, to Gordon Sully, like the voice of professional wrestling, you know, whether it was Florida or Georgia Championship Wrestling.
To the American
Dream, Dusty Rhodes. That's incredible.
And then he brings me, I want to bring you in, kid. I want to talk to you. So I come in to see him, and I said, first of all, I know that the manager's there. I'm making $200 a week. I'm making $1,500 a week in the nightclub, and I got all the booze, broads, and party you can handle, you know? So, I mean, I really was Diamond Dallas Page back then. I mean, it was too much fun. So, I mean, I wasn't going to work for $200 a week and leave my real job.
Of course.
But I would do TV if he wanted me to do it, and $50, you know, coming up, and you drive back and forth. It costs you $50 in gas to get back and forth. And from where I lived,
total a promotional gig right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just he said, I want to bring you in, and I came there. I explained everything about myself, and at the end of it, he goes, you know, kid, I see a lot of Jesse Ventura in you. I see a lot of Captain Lou Albano in you. And to tell you the truth, kid, I see a lot of me in you. He said, we're going to bring you in here. We're going to let you manage. We're also going to put you right next to Gordon. You're going to be the Jesse Ventura of the 90s. And I went, whoa, Dusty, hold on, man. I don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch. He said, don't worry about it, kid. Gordon will walk you through it all. And that guy did. I mean, he was the greatest. He would become like a grandfather to me. I mean, I loved him, man. He was such a great guy and so knowledgeable. You couldn't help. And I'll tell you how much I learned from Gordon. When Dusty finally got me to try out in WWF back in the day when Jesse had just left, like who was going to fill those shoes? It sure wasn't a ripoff of him, which I was at the time. He brought me up there for the tryout, or Bruce Pritchard did. You know, it was all one rib after another, and they had me do the color, and good God, don't say good God, Diamond. baby, don't say baby, Diamond. You know, it's like, don't say this, don't say that, don't say this. Like, Jesus, what am I going to say? All right, I'll just talk. So I get done with that. Then they come in and go, okay, Diamond, what we're going to have you do now, you do play-by-play, and Lord Alfred Hayes, you do the color. Like, okay. We get done with that, and they want to show you how great Gordon Soley was, because it comes down to, you know, being a mimic, basically. At the end of it, Lord pushes himself away from the counter and he goes, my Lord, Diamond, where did you learn to do play-by-play like that? I said, bro, I've been sitting next to Gordon Soley for a year and a half. I mean, you're bound to learn something, dude. He goes, that was tremendous.
Wow.
I tell you what, if it wasn't for Gordon Soley, I never would have passed science class because I learned about every part of the body because of Gordon Soley. You know, because he gave like the science. He wouldn't say the leg. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't say the arm. He gave the scientific term for everything. And Piercing sprawl.
The transformation of DDP from voice, from manager to wrestler. We're going to find out about that after the break. And I believe there is something very important to both these gentlemen, Dave and Mr. Page, that they have in common. I don't know if you know it. You definitely know it. We'll learn more about it. That's a tease.
It's a tease. That's a tease in the business.
Busted Open. Back after this.
Busted Open!
Talking about the world of professional wrestling. This is Busted Open. Live from New York City on Sirius XM Radio. Time for you to get in the ring. 866-522-2846. 866-522-2846. Now, back to Busted Open on Sirius XM Radio.
Mortman and LaGreca with DDP, Diamond Dallas Page here in studio for the rest of the show. And as I was saying before we went to break, DDP, the Dallas part, is that because, as Dave LaGreca, You were a Cowboy fan back in the day?
Well, you have to understand. First, my real name was Paige Joseph Falkenberg. I knew that
probably would need to be changed on the next level. Yes.
And my dad was Page 1. The only two guys I know that were named Page were me and my dad. And he said, as a little kid, because I was with him till I was 8, he would call me Page 2, and he said I hated that. And he said, but I love the Dallas Cowboys. I love the stars on it. As a little kid, little kids loved me because they could do the diamond cutter sign and do the bang.
Sure.
And they felt like they were a part of it. So as a little kid, you identify with certain things. So as a little kid, I loved them. And, recently over the last few years, I always will watch their games whenever I've got, TV, that's in that area that's playing Dallas. But when it comes down to, I'm not really a fan of any particular teams. I'm fans of players like Herschel Walker. I was telling you on the break. He's the first guy to do the diamond cutter in the end zone, playing for Dallas. That was like huge.
That's amazing.
And that was confirmed by Herschel Walker. So that's
But it's
himself.
amazing.
That's
You're a
pretty
Cowboy fan growing up, and you get to see Herschel do it in the end zone.
Amazing.
It's
when
amazing.
it's just starting to take off. Like, it hasn't really hit that phenomenon spot that it was 97 and 98. This is 96. So it was really mind-boggling for me.
I actually remember that run. I think it was a kickoff, actually, that run.
You
it's
would
his
know
second.
that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was his second run with the Cowboys. It was the last year before he retired. Yeah, I remember that.
So
It's great.
So so DDP's evolving here, and how does it get to the point where you end up putting all the injuries aside and actually this extra metamorphosis into the legend, the guy, the DDP, the diamond cutter, the whole 9 yards? Give me just a quick rundown. How did that happen?
Like you're a pop icon.
Seriously,
You're an icon.
everybody. when you hear that song, seriously,
Yeah, it's very strong.
half of the people think "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Everybody else thinks DDP. Honest to God.
That was by design, because that was the song of the 90s.
Definitely.
That defined the 90s. And me and Jimmy Hart went in and retooled it so they couldn't sue us. Yet Dave Grohl, who wrote that song, when Raven, I'm doing a thing with MTV with the Foo Fighters, and Raven came from behind me and hit me in the head with a stop sign. So David, later on, he would be like, dude, you ripped us off. I go, yeah, but it was sweet, wasn't it? I said, everybody thinks of you and me. How is that a bad thing, man? So, it's all about how you reinvent yourself. I was at the movie The Wrestler. If you get the movie The Wrestler, you'll see on the DVD, there's extra series, there's interviews with me, Beefcake, Valentine, Lex, and Piper, and we're all doing a roundtable about the movie. And when I went up to Mickey after the movie was over, and I waited, he's a very humble guy. He's very nice to everyone. He's like, reminds me of myself around the people, because I am nice to everyone, true to a fault. And I waited till he was done, and as he looked over at me, I put out my hand and I said, Mick, I go, I'm Diamond Dallas Page. And he grabbed my hand and he pulled me in tight. He goes, I know exactly who you are.
Wow.
What'd you think?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what'd you think? I said, dude, I thought you fucking nailed it. I was like, I was blown away by the performance and how much work. I mean, I know how much work he puts in everything. Again, it reminds me of myself as far as the work ethic. I mean, Mick didn't cut anything. Now, a lot of those things that wouldn't be true, like there's no steroids getting pulled out in the middle of the gym area where everybody see, if that does happen, it's probably behind closed doors. But, I thought to myself, there's no way a top guy would do that kind of crazy hardcore match. But I thought, well, I can't say that because Terry Funk's a legend, and nobody did Mick Foley.
Mick Foley,
yeah. But Terry Funk redefined his career with the ECW stuff. Like he went from being an NWA champion, where like Matt wrestling, to being a hardcore freak. It was amazing.
Yeah, and he is amazing. And to me, it goes back to reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
And for me, as Diamond Dallas Page, the brand, I was so fortunate to have been able to live so many dreams and get to wrestle with Malone. I mean, that was a huge, major, when Rodman got involved, they were like, Rodman's involved, made all the papers, but it's Dennis Rodman.
Right.
When Malone got involved, it was like, well, wait a minute. I mean, it actually pissed people off. Like Bob Costas got hot. He really did. And Malone was like, what are you talking about? These guys are great athletes. He really backed up all of ours because he loved it. And so doing it with him, and even Jay Leno, I mean, he was a horrifying wrestler, but as an entertainer, the stuff that he did in there was entertaining. Mm-hmm. So it was one pay-per-view after another. Now, if you go back 4 years, Hogan comes up to me in 1994, and I'm stretching out in Germany, and he says to me,